Here we go. Welcome. Part 2. The imho.love show. Alright, here we go. How's everybody feeling, man? It's the 21st of October 2021. The title of this show is The First Spark of Life. It's going to be a pretty cool conversation. Mike's been raking up some information on that. And welcome, everybody. Thank you for watching IMHO, in my humble opinion, .love, because love is what it's all about. I'm Lou Angelwolf. That's Mike Murburg. And we're here most Wednesday nights at 7:30. And our show's a little hard to define in some instances. But for the most part, we are here to
label us is to limit us.
To label us is to limit us. Very nice. So, of course, the backbone of the show is the CE5, Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind. And we're going to have a slight alteration on that now, right, Mike?
Yeah, thank you. I'm now referring to it as HEIS 5.
HEIS 5.
HEIS 5.
That's Human Initiated Contact Experience. And the fifth level.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like hi, CE5.
Okay. Hi, CE5. Yeah, we one-upped them.
Yeah, well, you got to go from ET Let's Talk to hi, CE5. You know, it's kind of in the same genre.
It's all kind of conversational.
Yeah.
Well, and I will tell you, the way things are going, man, we're going to have some true interaction with our extraterrestrial families.
Yeah.
I feel them reaching out. I had a really beautiful, completely sober, euphoric moment today. Driving in, we're out in the country here, out on Area 52, and I'm staying out here all the time now. And I guess I'm kind of the associate caretaker or something.
Yeah, you're like the resident Magnum PI geezer.
The Magnum PI geezer?
Yeah.
All right.
It's like, you know.
I like it.
Me too, man. It's kind of cool, you know. I mean, if they saw like the Burt Reynolds truck, they would totally understand.
Yes, I do have a Burt Reynolds truck. Or if Burt Reynolds designed a truck, I got it. I'll put some pictures up on my Facebook page.
Yeah,
if you
good
want to
idea.
see.
That's a cool truck.
Smokey. Yeah, Smokey. Smokey's
yeah.
a good truck. Trying to sell it. Then I had a guy that wanted it. I had two guys that wanted it. And then, you know, I don't know. People's lives change, and, you know, buying toys sometimes gets put on a back burner. But, you know, it's been seesawing back and forth. So I might just keep it.
It's a righteous truck, dude.
It is a righteous truck, you know, and I love driving it. It's a little thirsty at the pump, though.
Yeah.
But whatever. Hey, who cares? So anyway, so the imho.love show, all.love, because love is what it's all about. Love is the reason to live. It really is. It's the reason to try. Because the more you try and the more harmoniously you can tune your frequencies and vibrations, which will raise and solidify them, making them more fluent. And then in those upper vibrations lives love. So you'll rub against it, man. You'll get up there with it. And it's all just learning to accept, learning to understand. Stop fighting life, man. Live the Tao, moment by moment. Do your best. Just do your best. Well, anyway. And I always liked HICE better, the Human Initiated Contact Experience.
Yeah, I'm glad you got back to that. That's Joseph Burke's.
Joe Burke's?
Yeah, he started that one. Dr. Joseph Burke's, yes.
Yeah, he's cool.
Yeah, he is. Getting up there in age, but he's still kicking.
Hey, we are too. And the fact that it's human initiated and it is also a contact experience, it's amazing if you don't know exactly what we're talking about, we do these things called sky watches. And we time it, as does most of the rest of the world. There are thousands of groups doing the same thing at the exact times according to their time zones across the planet. We offer up our purest consciousness, seeking contact as a group, as individuals, reaching out to our extraterrestrial family, just letting them know we're loving on them. It's just, it's our little love note to the universe, and they respond all the time. They fulfill our hearts. They fulfill our dreams, our imaginations. It's an amazing thing. I can't think of anything else that I'd rather be doing. I love doing stand-up comedy. I love making a room full of people laugh. But this is big. This is really big.
It's like, yeah, it is. It's big.
And a lot of people are going to write us off as kooks that go sit in the field and wait for flying saucers.
We know the future already.
Yes. And hey, that's fine. That's fine. If you want to write us off as that, that's fine. Chances are your energy is going to be interruptive to ours anyway. So, what we're looking forward to is a harmonious group of people. And we've got another one coming up on November 6th that I believe is about full up now. We're very close. Yeah. We're going to gather, meet, meditate. We have beautiful meditation sessions. And then we have some first invocation, then a meditation session, then a second invocation. And sometimes it's almost like you ordered a pizza. We get done with that invocation, and we're asking for contact. We're asking for a sign. And by the time we all get back to sitting in our zero gravity chairs, something just flies across the sky, something unexplained, something beautiful, something marvelous, something you've never seen before, something that shakes your soul, something that lets you know that what you just saw, you can explain.
Yeah. And it wasn't threatening, and it seemed to like you.
And it came right after the invitation,
right.
So there's that beautiful innocence.
It's like God arriving on your door.
Yeah.
Oh, God, I need to see you now.
Yeah, the source. It's source stuff. Well, it's from source.
Well, let me go. Speaking of sources, we got to give credit to Greer for commandeering CE5.
Oh,
which was Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind, meaning a CE 4+1, which is an abduction with an ass probing,
with an examination.
Right. So
because CE5 is actually an inaccurate.
Right. It is.
It is. I mean, even though Dr. Greer, who is one of the pioneers in this thing, we haven't been presented with the challenges that he was, because a lot of people, and he's bigger with this. We're more of a grassroots thing.
Yeah, you got to be crazy to do what he does. That's just
right. It's almost like running for office.
Right.
So he's going to be compromised from here to there. Right. But this is the beautiful thing about the imho.love show. It's completely non-monetized. We don't even sell T-shirts or coffee cups. Well, maybe we should.
That's a good idea.
But we could give the money to charity. Then we'd still be non-profit.
Yeah.
So, and by the way, I found out something too. Moby, the artist Moby, the musician, the incredible musician, he has this beautiful website. And if your podcast is non-profit, you can use his music for free.
That's really cool.
That he's written for here. Take it.
Moby's a cool guy. I always liked his work.
Moby's badass, dude. So we got new people. We got Dom is going to work on our new imho.love show website. Kathy's doing a great job. But we need to smooth this thing out. We need to get it more accessible. Because I'm still clunky with it, I'm here, there, I forgot that.
Yeah.
So, we need to get a real smooth flow going. And I appreciate everybody that made the efforts that they made from my son to IRN radio.
Yeah, even down to Chris Gorgeous,
Chris Gorgeous
Double-
is such a wonderful man.
Double duty, whatever studios we
Hey, he was so cool, and he didn't charge us a dime all those years.
He is a friendly guy.
He's a very good guy, and he's got a great heart, and he's a truly funny guy. He's one of those. His style of comedy, he works the crowd like Rickles would, or Richie Belzer used to do that too, which I think is kind of his idol.
Oh yeah,
Richie Belzer.
Yeah.
And but Chris is just a fantastic human being, and he engineered our show for years and put it up, and I mean, we brought him a pizza every once in a while. That was the pay.
And bananas.
Oh yes, we brought bananas often. You gotta keep your engineers
Health
all
food.
potassiumed up.
And donuts.
Donuts. He opened up his home to us for several years, and then we went over to Tan Talk for a while, and those people were wonderful. And then we were in Mike's house for about a year, and now the studio is all wired. This is all stuff that we've been doing in our spare time, whatever that is, and we've gotten it to this level now. So we're here. I'm moving my writing studio up here. So we'll be broadcasting the show, and I'm going to get more involved in the web, because I can do it if I take the time to learn it. So, and we got our friend Fran from Alabama has also volunteered to come down and
Cool.
help us tighten stuff up.
Thank you.
So, she's a great teacher, wonderful, wonderful, brilliant woman. And very talented with the thing, the computer thing. Well, anyway, like we promised you in the front half of the show, and forgive us for rambling on, but that's kind of what we do. And if you're here, you're kind of used to it. Thank you, everybody that tunes in every week. Mark and Daniel and Kat Carol, whom we love, Sue, and everybody that tunes in, Nanette. And I'm just doing this from memory, so that's bound to have errors.
Sounds like you're naming the Musketeers.
Yeah, and
Cubby.
all my friends had fun at play. So yeah, the Romper Room, Miss June with the magic mirror. Yeah, found out about that magic mirror in my 20s. But anyway, so what Mike and I have been talking about, and Mike's been translating the Wahoo Ching. And just you found some really wonderful paths. You capture the essence of so many of them and make them so understandable. It's tremendous work.
Thank you. I try. It's a good work.
And one thing we talk about a lot is this whole wonder of life. My sisters had a psychic over the house today.
Did he know he was going to get there?
What's that?
Did he know what time he was going to get
It was
there?
a girl, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. She showed up right on time, mysteriously. But they contacted my dad in a psychic type of seance thing. My dad's been gone about 11 years, Big Lou. Great dude, man. Good-hearted guy. He was loved by not as many as Slim Whitman, but many. And they contacted the other side. They got hold of my dad. He's very happy over there. He is with his mother, who was a beautiful soul. She was one of those people. My grandma Alice, she died when I was 7, and I didn't get to spend a lot of time with her. But she was a magnificent soul. The old Italian lady. Her maiden name was Fagioni, and then she marries the Dieter. My 100% German on my dad's dad, and then he marries this beautiful little Italian lady, Alice Fagioni, and she was a fantastic cook. But one of the things I remember about visiting her house in Perth Amboy, New Jersey, or actually Hopelawn. If you know Hopelawn, you really know New Jersey. It's like 8 square blocks. But anyway, she had that Italian candy, the curly kind. It was like ribbon candy.
Yeah.
It would like make like a little S, little squashed S.
Yeah, they suck, but
They're horrible.
They're fancy.
But she put them in this candy bowl with a little chrome lid on it.
Right, yeah, the candy bowl.
And you'd reach in to get one, and you'd take like 13 of them. they were all stuck together.
Well, yeah, and 13 was about as satisfying as half a chocolate bar, but it's like 15 times the sugar.
I know.
It's like,
just bouncing off the wall.
Want your kid to run around the house? Here.
But my dad, I remember stories, my dad and I spent a lot of time on the road together, and I remember him telling me stories when he was a kid. They were broke ass. It was just my dad and his mom. His father and his older brother took off for Florida and were little help long distance. But my dad loved spaghetti. His favorite thing was spaghetti, and it's because it was cheap and they had it often.
Yeah.
But his mom kept the cleanest house ever. She hand waxed the wooden floors, and she brick ironed the sheets. So that was her deal, man. That house was. You spent the night at that house. You get in that guest bed. It is crisp, dude. It's just starched, and it's just awesome. And
yeah, no rats.
nah, rats go. Hey, you want to stay away from the Faggionis. You don't want to go near the Faggionis. I'm telling you. So
rub out that dirty rat.
So they were talking to my dad on the other side today, and of course, and that's an end game story. But the thing that fascinates me the most, probably the biggest question I've ever devised, it's certainly not original, but when that, is it a zygote? It's when the zygote enters the egg.
Right.
Okay.
Well, the zygote is the egg.
The zygote is the egg, and then the spermatozoa
right.
enters the zygote.
Right.
Okay. At that moment, life begins or occurs.
Yeah, the spark of light.
The spark of light. And there's something outside of our physicality that causes that. There's some absolute divine intervention that happens to that human being at that moment.
Right, and it's caused by kind of like, as I remember, there's a copper base to the ignition of the light that happens.
A copper base?
Yeah, it's copper, somewhat copper base. I've forgotten a lot of what I've learned, but yeah, that's when the spark occurs. It's a chemical reaction, but it's nonetheless a spark, and you wonder, like, why do we need this, and how did they get here? Now, why do we need this is obvious, and how did they get here is, pretty miraculous. So,
yeah.
Put the two and two together, and you got something special.
Is that why babies got soft spots on their heads? Is that their port? Is that where it came in?
Oh no, I don't know. No, that's just because their skulls are slow to develop in those spots. That's all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought it'd be like a little.
Yeah, you push on it, it goes boing, boing, boing. You can have 10 IQ points later by boing, boing. Quit crying. We're gonna.
Well, I wonder where. I guess the zygote is so, or the spermatozoa.
It's just filled with the stuff of life. It's supposed to happen, and this is the best way for it to happen. It's freaking miraculous.
Yeah, but just that energy and the chemistry and all of that happening right in that very same moment.
But the question is what comes in in that spark of light?
Right.
That's the portal.
Right.
Yeah, that's a portal from the.
That's the fascinating part to me. Right. I love the actual physicality, but the spiritual adventure begins.
Right, but what's coming through, what's coming through the portal. I lost my train of thought. But
what's coming through the portal?
At that time? You got energy coming through the portal, and this is the miracle. They come through the portal, creates a human being. Human being grows, and its entire soul spirit is trying to get to that on the other side of the portal. But it can't go that way. It's got to go this way.
The 359 degree thing.
Right, and then you got to just, then you got to just put up your arms, give up on everything, give up on nothing, and then just be.
The suchness.
It's such a with or without.
You enjoy your suchness.
Yes.
Yeah, that's that 300. A circle. Excuse my rudimentary circle. 360 degrees, and I call it the 359 degree detour. Where you need to go is right here, okay? But you have to go this way. Even though that's where you're going to wind up, you can't take... I mean, I guess some people can just make the shortcut through some sort of divine intervention or some sort of superpower of spirit. Nothing's impossible.
But what we do, though, and the kind of cool part about it is we take the same energy that we are here, we put it out psychologically back into the subtle realm that sent this energy through.
Right.
So we're dwelling with our intellect, our intelligence, in that subtle realm when we do this the CE5 exercise. Into the subtle realm. So it's a complete circuit.
That's, I got to admit that this Heist 5 thing is the most interesting thing I've seen come along in a really long time, because it has beauty, mystery, innocence, love, passion, wonder, joy,
symmetry,
synchronicity. There are no coincidences, man. People talked about stuff like this many years ago, and they were thought mad, okay? But now, the madness has really widened its berth as it goes through the boulevard of life, and we are finding more and more that we're good, man. We're doing well, and we are progressing as a species. Our human experiences are growing and flourishing. There are people waking up minute by minute all over the world, realizing that they are just wonderful, bright pieces of the oneness. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing.
Henry James Thoreau and Wolf and Emerson, Ralph Waldo Emerson. Kind of things that they were saying back at the turn of the 19th and into the 20th century. When back in the 19th century, they were great thinkers.
Yes.
And everybody thought them just... Emerson was a genius, Thoreau was a nut, and Henry James was so smart that people just couldn't understand him.
Yeah.
But they eventually did. And, in some ways we're the intellectual prodigy, or progeny as well, of these great thinkers.
Yes.
They became part of our social fabric, and if you read them or knew of them, they would become part of your intellectual fabric.
Yes.
So what we do with CE5 is use all the best of that stuff and put it together and make contact, and then following the protocols and especially the invocations. The invocation. May the love that unites, love and compassion that unites us here and now tonight be the same love and compassion we project and have for our extraterrestrial friends, whom we'd love to have come to tea.
Yes, exactly. And on your birthday card, I wrote interaction. And I really think the interaction between terrestrials, us, and extraterrestrials, them, they're extra. We're terrestrials, get it? They're us, get it? Do you see what's going on? They're in different shapes and forms and capabilities, and
right, and that's the whole part of the Tao, is that once we see them as us, it doesn't matter what they look like.
Right.
It doesn't matter, we're one and the same. So we're one
Yeah.
of the same creator, one of the same spark that creates life for the most part. I don't know the other stuff, but I'm sure we will if that exists.
There's nothing to be afraid of.
No, and the worst that can happen is death, and you come back as the whole thing.
You got to do it anyway.
What a challenge! I mean, this lasts for infinity. So you might as well learn how to do it right.
Yeah,
So.
Space only knows how many times you've made this rotation.
Right.
Right,
did we mention that the last show when a black hole shrinks to a singularity, everybody thought the singularity was a point, but it's not. It's a donut.
Right. Right.
Our last show, that was funny.
It never ends. It constantly folds into itself.
Yeah, and that same donut is what is our electromagnetic field as we're walking around the planet, around ourselves, and then when we form a group like we do at CE5, we create our own electromagnetic field with the joining of hands with all the people.
Yes.
So it's a real electromagnetic field, and there's a flow to it, and we
make our own donut.
Right, and we do, and it's glazed.
But think about that. The Simpsons have been projecting the future all along. Okay, and the fact of Homer's affection for donuts.
Mm-hmm.
That totally. I think they know. There's stuff that gets fed to them because they've had some. Shockingly accurate.
Yes, yeah.
Prediction.
Yeah, more so than Family Guy. Family Guy is more a regular social commentary.
Oh,
but yeah, The Simpsons are remarkable. I mean, when they called Trump as president, it was like, and they had him with the orange hair and blue suit. It was like, man, and that was like 15 years or 10 years before he did it.
Sure.
Who would have called that?
Yeah.
It was like, all the pundits on election night. Yeah, The Simpsons says he's going to win, so we're predicting that Donald Trump is going to be the winner. It's like, I wonder who's next,
Yeah. Well, there's a funny meme. It's got Howard Cosell, O.J. Simpson, and Bruce Jenner all on camera together on ABC Sports.
Yeah.
And he said if Howard Cosell could do the same interview today.
That's funny.
But anyway, that's smart.
I mean, this is Howard Cosell. What the fuck?
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm not much for the volleying of rules, but it appears. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. What and I think a lot of people are really waking up to, I was subjected to mainstream television a couple of times over the last few weeks just because I was in a place that it was on.
Yeah, I get it.
And man, have they dumbed it down. I mean, it literally feels like you're explaining something to sixth graders.
Right.
Everything's bright colors. Everything's about the emotion of it instead of the product itself. Almost every other commercial is for some sort of medication or prescription drug for various things. There's a wicked ass hangnail medicine out there that can cause death.
Yeah.
So you got hangnail or die.
Yeah. Well, did you see that the government now wants to vaccinate 28 million 5 to 11-year-olds?
Yeah.
It's like, wait a minute. This is the age group that needs this drug the least because they're like 99.99999,
right.
Resilient from it.
Sure.
But they're going to, and without knowing what the side effects are, and they're going to get it into them. That's like me giving you a bag and you having to jump out of an airplane and saying, trust me, your chute is in there. It ain't going to work.
Sure. And the weirdest thing about this, it's all, I bet you this whole thing, this whole manipulation that we're experiencing right now
fucking Nazis.
is it's past that. It's Mortimer and his brother with $1 bet
that's right.
on a bench somewhere.
Right.
Watch and see what we can do.
And that's God and the devil. You want to put it that way?
It is God and the devil. And somebody's gonna. I don't know who's gonna win the dollar this time.
Well, either way, some black guy's gonna get fucked.
That again, the poor they play those guys so bad. I feel so bad for them. And hooray for Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't agree with everything he says, but he's a smart dude and he's got a ballsy opinion. And you know what? He should be able to state his ballsy opinion.
Yeah, absolutely.
Period, paragraph.
That's the right guy to do it too.
Yeah, and he's causing a lot of shit.
He's caught a lot of shit for doing a eulogy about a transgender, very close friend of his in the comedy business, and the transgender people, some of them, not all of them, are like up in arms because he was honest about the whole thing. Yeah, and funny, and he brought this whole issue to the forefront that how we need to change because guess what? Daphne was a human being too. Right. And then that's the message. And these people that are attacking it are either too stupid or too blind to get that message.
It's not a matter of stupidity. It's a matter of emotional sensitivity.
Yeah, imbalance if you call me.
Well, they have it turned way up, and it's based in psychologically, you would say it's based in their insecurity. Like anybody that has any sort of hang up about anything, it's generally based in an insecurity. So, and I don't care what you do at night. I don't care who you sleep with. I don't care what you nibble on. I don't care what you put in your ass or don't put in your. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. I'm loving you as a human being, okay? But you're forcing this differentiation onto me. I have to think of you differently than a human being. So in other words, I have to subclassify you to identify with you.
What they're making us do is taxonomize each other so we can identify each other and cut each other apart. That's just...
Well, divide and conquer blows dead rats on wobbly bar stools.
Yeah.
Divide and conquer is the oldest game plan in the world. And what, when this world is functioning best, there is a kind-hearted, benevolent ruler. We do seek a hierarchy of, we seek a hierarchy of control, and many people need a little help. We're all not, each man is not an island. But loving, compassionate people, helping each other, being able to trust one another. Because, like Mike and I said a while ago, we are each other. And for us to be dividing and subdividing and, you're black, you're white, you're male, you're female, you're gay, you're straight, you're Latino, you're Asian, and they have this whole little, because all these little specks can't fight as much or stand together as much or love as much as a group that sees no difference in themselves. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So be what you want, say what you want, but really what you're doing every time you want to be identified as something other than a loving, caring, sentient being, you're declassifying yourself. You're subclassifying yourself. You are the greatest creation of Source. You're the human being, dudes and dudettes. You made it. You're here. Every time you say you're less than something, you're downgrading your personal value. You are a piece of the life source. And when you realize that, I can't keep this mindset all the time, but there are longer and longer sessions of it to me. So I think that's got to be progress. Wouldn't you think that's progress?
I agree with you.
You know, and then, you know, I find myself, especially these last couple of weeks, I've had some extra time to myself. I've been able to do things slowly and methodically, which I really enjoy. I was deceived for decades that I was a fine multitasker, and I'm really not.
No, men are linear taskers.
Yeah.
And women are great multitaskers, you know.
Well, I want to be an ethereal tasker. That's what I want to be. If I'm going to task, let it be an ethereal effort.
Sounds like a spiritual bowling team.
The ethereal taskers. They're in third place this year. Morty's got a broken thumb, but he'll be back.
That's right. We're going to lease his shirt out. So
funny. I used to wear bowling shoes on stage.
Really?
Yeah, they were comfortable.
Yeah.
A lot of comics did, actually.
Oh, really?
And I saw other comics wearing bowling shoes on stage.
Right.
I stopped wearing bowling shoes.
Yeah,
on stage.
good idea. Yeah.
You don't want to be hacked. You don't have hack shoes. My act is hack enough.
Yeah, it's like, I just got off of work at the bowling alley to get here, so I hope you like my act.
Spanky. Spanky was a great comic out of Dallas. And he used to wear a tuxedo jacket or a smoking jacket, okay, with a tie, and a skinny tie, and jeans, and various kinds of shoes, slippers, and all kinds of different things. And he would take his smoking jacket off partially during the show, and he would have a Gulf gas station T-shirt on with his name stitched in it over here with a tie on. And really, really funny guy. And he wore bowling shoes occasionally, and cowboy boots because he's from Texas. But
yeah, can you imagine bowling in cowboy boots?
It happens.
Oh, man,
it happens.
Only in Texas.
Yeah, there's cowboy boot bowling shoes. There really is. So, hey, whatever.
Wow, you gotta love America. You can get anything here.
You can get anything you want in this country, you know. But anyway, to reiterate, the human initiated contact experience, 5th level, level 5, whatever reaching to the 5th dimension. That's supposed to be the nicest one.
I like that. We can get or the fifth density.
The 5th density
with Ra. Yeah, the density of non-physical life, pure energy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a good connection too. That's why I like to keep the 5. It's almost like remember Cat's Cradle and Ice 9.
Yes.
So kind of close, you know.
Yeah.
Ice, Cat's Cradle. What the hell? You know, it's Vonnegut. We're all here because of Vonnegut.
Vonnegut, yes. You know, what a wonderful! I had nice Vonnegut quote. It says, "We were born to goof around. We're born to take our time and, you know, to enjoy the little things, man. Like Warren Zevon says, enjoy every sandwich."
Well, I forgot about the physicist I watched. He was a Nobel Prize winner, and what he ended up doing was just goofing around with rockets as a kid. And he ended up like inventing all these incredible, you know, devices and rockets. So he had a friend, and this is like when he was 12 years old. His dad had an airplane, and they wanted to make a super rocket, so they put a rocket together, and this after a number of tries, but they got it right, and they thought it was going to get up to like only 2 miles. So the guy's like flying his Piper Cub at like, you know, 3,000 feet. They're supposed to go up like 2,000 feet. He's flying around at like 3,000 feet, and all of a sudden this rocket goes shooting by him.
Oh my gosh!
Like, but that's
how
crazy.
high did it go?
Oh, it was like the guy was 2 miles, and that's the measure, 2 miles. And they thought that's as far as it would go, but it went way past. And he was at 3,000 feet, so it shot past him at 3,000
Oh my God, almost took him out.
Yeah, almost took him out.
Wow.
I was like,
Hey, you
know, a Nobel Prize winner in physics, just, you know, having fun as a kid. I mean, that's the Tao. That's creative energy as a child. You know, take your time, find out what you like, and then you know, love it throughout your life. You know?
It's got to be fun, man. I've always enjoyed photography. I've got a lot of stuff out there. I need to learn the more intricate parts of it. I have the eye, I just don't have the tech. But that's all coming. I really do hope, even our future, which, there's some turbulent water ahead, and there could definitely be some struggle ahead. But I do hope on the other side we do each get to enjoy the life and love and the art that is in each of us. To be able to express yourself artistically, there's nothing better. And there's an artist, her name is Nan Gray. She's on my Facebook page. Mm-hmm. She was married to my buddy Jeff Chester, who was a comedy booker many years ago. And Nan, I'll show you her work. You'll like her work. She's got wonderful use of colors. If you go on my Facebook page, Nan Gray, Nangray, and look her up. Her work is for sale. It's beautiful. I can see it matching many rooms in many people's houses. And she's expressing herself artistically, which is just, that's hitting the cash register, dude. When you can do what you love and have it flow the way you want it to, which is one of the reasons Mike and I do this show. We're both word guys. We're word men, better than a bird man. And Mike speaks as an attorney constantly. I speak as a comedian constantly. And this is like our collective, this is all the stuff that stuck to the walls that we want to talk about that wasn't business. So, and that's why we do the show. And it's also because there are people asking a lot of questions about what's going on, especially with the mysterious CE5 or UAP, UFO, alien, extraterrestrial, whatever entry level of nomenclature you're into. Did you see Demi Lovato, who's some pop singer girl?
Yeah.
Who wants to be identified as they now, by the way. There's they. Demi.
So would she be
they
Lovato?
Dem they Lovato. She said she was speaking up for the extraterrestrials, saying that they no longer want to be called aliens. That it's insensitive.
Nice anyway. It is insensitive.
And so she's flying the extraterrestrial flag.
I've been flying that for a long time.
Yeah.
You can't call them aliens and expect them to be nice. It's welcome stranger sounds much more.
Star Family is my favorite.
Oh yeah, well, welcome stranger versus welcome aliens or welcome brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
So
stranger, stranger isn't bad.
No, but it sure doesn't beat brothers and sisters.
No, hell no.
No. We're children of the Tao.
Yes.
So.
Yes. And there's nothing to be afraid of, folks. I'm telling you, there's nothing to be afraid of. You don't have to be afraid of dying. You don't have to be afraid of trials. You don't have to be afraid of difficulties, because there's a wonderful, unifying, universal life force energy that wants to support you and move you along. As you encounter this in its grandeur and its blandness, you'll find graduations of your spirit. You're going along, and there's really nothing happening today. Then you go, that's perfect. Mm-hmm. And then you're like, oh man, I got so much going on today, but I'm really digging it.
Yeah.
So just being happy with who you are, where you are, when you are, that's the key, man. That's the key.
Learning and creating. It's a shame you're not making it up to the Highwayman, art instruction. That'd be kind of cool.
I do want to go, but I have the Highwayman is a famous Florida artist. For those of you who don't know,
well, there are a bunch of them. Yeah.
Yeah. They sold their art on the side of the road at exits and rest areas and outside restaurants and all that stuff for many, many years, all through the 50s. And they're highly collectible. There's some guys out there now, some of that stuff's bringing 100,000.
Yeah, it's bringing a lot of money.
Yeah.
But they're still collectible if you find them one for the right price. But needless to say, I'm going to learn how to paint on Saturday, so I'm going to be able to.
I would love to go with you, but my lifetime friends, the Baker boys, Mark Baker and Ron Baker, and I think John, the oldest brother, is coming too. And they're having a family gathering. They're the dad, the patriarch, Bob Baker, who was a president of the Sun Bank in downtown Dunedin. Just a salt of the earth guy, real funny guy. He bought all of us, well, I shared it with Ron and Mark, the very first Pong game, the beep, 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 in the early 70s. That was amazing. And when we found out we could just set it and just let it go beetle beak, beetle beak, beetle beak, beetle beak, and it'll just bounce back and forth. We just let it go beetle beak for hours. But anyway, we have to have our...
Who says we're not monkeys?
We are monkeys. Absolutely. Just blowing spit bubbles.
Well, yeah, we're more than that, but
we got some monkey brain.
Yeah,
dude.
you gotta.
And monkey brain is fun.
You gotta know where you come from.
I tell you what, man. I mean, I've had some of the deepest intellectual conversations with people across this planet, and people just blow me away with their knowledge and the spirit that lands and falls. But I'll also tell you this. In as much enjoyment, I love skipping stones on a lake.
Yeah, that's fun.
I love I'm like a 13 skipper. On a still water, I can get 13 skips out of a tennis ball circumference size stone.
Yeah, the bigger they are, the tougher it is to skip them. So.
Yeah, I'm a stone skipping bitch, boy, and it's fun, and it brings me genuine joy. The simplicity of watching your stone hit that 13th splash.
Yeah, it does though. It does some sort of a Fibonacci curve.
Yeah, there definitely is a Fibonacci angle to that.
Yeah, it's predictable.
But I also, as you described the oneness, you just move that stone, who's really been busting his ass to get up here. Now, who knows how many years it's going to take him to get back?
Like 60 million years.
I just totally rearranged the stone's life.
Right, give or take an ice sheet or two.
Yeah.
I mean, the stones are talking to each other going, oh my God, do you think the ice sheet is going to come and kill us someday?
Yeah,
they're conscious, I mean, what do stones talk about?
I wish all the stones, I wish all the skies were sea stone gray. That's a Seattle color. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you've been listening to the imho.love show. I'm Lou Angelwolf. That's Mike Murburg. imho.love. It's shared every week on Facebook Live. Thank you so much for tuning in. We're on BitChute. We're on Podbean. We're on YouTube. The imho.love site itself. Feel free to like, share, subscribe. The show's completely not edited or monetized. This is Open Jam, and we love to love you, man. We love sharing with you. We mean no harm. It's help ever, hurt never around here. We have beautiful people surrounding us day by day, and a beautiful CE5 coming up in just a couple of weeks. And our friends Nancy Dutetra, this is her book Psychic Intuition, and I said I was going to start reading this. I did not, but I had a pretty hectic week. But it's right here now. It's in my hands. It's in my folding it in my book. You read this already, right? No? Okay. I'll beat you to it.
You did.
And and Nancy's going to be here at the HICE5 too. So, what is your closing remarks there this evening, Mike?
Well, since this show was number 2 on the title of the first spark of life.
Yes? We forgot to talk about it last week.
Yeah. The closing words would be, don't let your spark expire without growing it first.
Ah, yes. Don't let your spark expire without growing it first. Absolutely. Be as big as you want to be, man. The world is ready to receive you. There's no reason to be shy anymore. You know, the one thing that the internet did, it made everybody a little hero. It gave everybody a little voice. And sometimes those little voices are legitimate and they have valid points and they should be pondered and contemplated. You have to pick and choose. There's people that want to seduce you, remove you, coerce you, steal from you. But there's also people out here that are sharing from the goodness of their heart because that's all, they've come to that level of realization that that's what you're supposed to do.
Well, you know, there's a saying, thieves have low self-esteem. So when you steal from somebody, if you realize there's something that you are going to be, it's going to be stolen from you yourself. You may steal a TV, but nobody's going to steal a TV from you. What the universe will take from you is your innocence.
Yes.
And that's the quid pro quo. So when you steal from somebody, you lose your innocence and you lose your self-esteem. So you go further and further into the hole.
Thank you.
So that's why thieves just get worse and worse and worse. They become burglars and they become murderers and then all that kind of stuff. So,
dude, you know, hanging around you, we must be picking up on each other's vibes or something. We're going to be like chicks having our periods at the same time or something. But anyway, sorry, ladies, that was a little harsh.
It's frightening, but it's okay.
But anyway, because here's the thing. You talk about stealing, and what it takes is your innocence, which is my most treasured thing, is the innocence I've been able to retain or recapture. And I'm just going to put, there's a comic buddy of mine, his name's Craig McCart. One of the first guys I ever saw on stage, always makes me laugh, got a great delivery. And he's got this great line that I've been tempted to steal. And I've also, because he's kind of retired, he's really not doing it much.
Well, ask him, he can rent it. You need the income.
I'll rent it, I'll buy it, whatever. I'd love to use it. And here's the line. It's very funny. And the reason I know it's very funny, because I've already used it without his permission. Okay, but the line is, I was driving into the show, I got a little turned around, and my GPS wasn't working. But there's a guy standing on the corner, so I pulled up to him. I said, "Excuse me, buddy." I says, "How do you get to Melbourne?" And he says, "My uncle takes me." So that's a great joke. And it gets a huge laugh.
It is, and it's so like people in Melbourne, because Melbourne is like got the worst school system in the entire state.
I know.
You know, you're dealing with a whole bunch of very, very strange people.
If that gets around to Craig McCart, I'm just going to go ahead and ask. I want to buy it from him, or he'll rent it to me, or because I love. It's a great joke. I've used it a couple times. I'll pay you some back rent on it, Craig, if it's okay. Or if you have a problem with it, I'll completely stop doing it. I'll honor my word and never do the joke again.
How about you add that when you tell the joke and you get laughs, you can give him credit for it?
That's a little cheesy.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a little cheesy. I thought about it.
If you play the rats, it'll sell. Sorry.
Well, you know, there's that. So there you go, watching Lou Angelwolf learn a life lesson. Not to be a hack, worse than I am. I do a lot. There's a lot of lines in my act that are like kind of stock-ish lines, like a lot of guys do the lines, like Catskills guys do the lines. Yeah. But they're so good, and I do them well. And Mitchell Walters is dead. I don't know where he stole them from. But anyway.
There's nothing new in comedy.
Dude, there's nothing new under the sun. There's nothing new under the sun. And so, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in. Where are we at on time, Mike?
Yeah, we're bumping up against it. But,
we're done?
I'm finishing chapters on teacher students in the Tao. I've been posting this week. I'm getting towards the end there, but maybe next week we can talk about integrity, virtue, and how it all dovetails towards becoming a divine human being.
Yes.
Yeah, I've been working on that. And one last word is like, if when you steal from somebody, you steal from yourself.
Yes.
Okay. If you betray somebody, you must also be betraying yourself.
Yes, of course.
The question is how is that? How does the universe change barter into commerce?
Well, it doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't. It you learn those little lessons in the subtle hours of the night.
Right. It's also like the thief, though, who realizes that, oh, wait a minute, every time I steal, I'm feeling less and less good about myself. So he's got a long way to come back. Same thing with betrayal. It's the same kind of, you never know how it's going to be exacted from you, but there's a price to pay because the law of energy return says it is. What you put out there comes back to you. So in the same form. So it's really important that people understand that's how their actions affect them.
Yeah.
So more than anybody else.
Well, and what happens is when people start to wake up, everything that was artificial or facadical about them starts to fall away, and you really start weighing the value of those things.
Right.
Okay. And in fact, I wrote this. I wrote this a couple of months ago. I was doing that project with Linda Martuch, and we were talking about ego and body consciousness, and I'll go ahead and close with this. It's just kind of a fragmented thing, which, if you've been listening to us for any amount of time, you should be used to it. Are we over an hour?
Fragmented, go figure. I don't know.
What time you got?
Yeah, we're closing in.
We're getting close. Okay, this shouldn't take but a couple minutes. All right. Body consciousness for men. Men get visually assaulted by the media at nearly every glance about their body image. Billboards, magazine, online, there is an idealized sample of what a desirable man's body looks like. Expert photographs, retouched and photoshopped. Tall, lean, smiling with a mouthful of perfect teeth. Smooth skin, toned muscles, and staged posture. Men have started to accept their total package slightly more gracefully than women. Duluth Trading Company makes and markets rugged clothing for the working man. Men of all sizes, small to 4 or 5XL, portly and tall. Being a husky hippie myself, I see many clothing styles I like, but they don't make it in my size. I believe men are generally more accepting of the hand they are dealt. There are extreme versions of this in both ways. Some men do nothing about their appearance. Work clothes, gathered, dirt poor hygiene 24/7. These men are usually alone. Sometimes other men don't even hang around them. And then on the turbo metrosexual end of the scale, every extreme treatment, surgery, restructuring, and manipulation that women do, body waxing, gymnasium excesses, extreme sports, etc. All the while taking selfies, men wearing out a mirror, not to mention the haunting penis presence that is the subliminal in all of this exposure. The pornography industry has challenged even the most confident man's prowess. Videos of men with giant rudders, with beautiful girls cheerfully handling their jib. Pornography is basically free. Watch it on your phone, at a traffic light, in the park. All of this input keeps a guy off balance and ever wondering, am I good enough, handsome enough, tall enough, rich enough? And all the while this confusion is happening, men forget to get in touch with themselves emotionally. Worried about the proper tightness of their pants, they neglect the things that make up their life. I've always been a little husky, only height and weight appropriate on a doctor's chart a few times in my life. I've hardly ever been happy with my body, but I have done tremendous amount of work on the inside. I've stared myself down in the mirror until I cried. Hypnotherapy, psychoanalysis, long walks in the woods, on the beach, long aimless car drives. Psychotropic drugs were abandoned for prayer and meditations. I'm still trying to find my okay. I believe you should try to live a healthy life, physically and mentally. Do what pleases you, not what the media sources tell you pleases you. So that's our ending statement of the night. We're right at 8:29, a perfect hour. Ladies and gentlemen, you guys have been wonderful. Like, share, subscribe. Podbean, YouTube, BitChute, Facebook Live, imho.love. Yeah, baby. You guys are wonderful. We love you a lot. Thanks, everybody. See who's hanging. Jim Chambers back out of jail. Hi, Paul. We even. Good to see you, man. Thanks for tuning in.